Warning: the Lobo show contains adult content, crude humor that may go against your religion, ethics, and morals. A perspective point of view you may not find your own. Viewer discretion is advised. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to your daily dosage of the shenanigans of a podcast that is labeled The Lobo Show. With me, with you, excuse me, your host, Lobo. And with me, as always, my producer, Heapsack. And, obviously, the Daily Topical Podcast. We like to, do things here, have fun, and talk about the hard hitting news. I feel like the hard hitting journalism, if you will. But I like to start off, saying that the 4th of July midweek, kind of a bummer, middle of the week. I think that lately, as Americans or anywhere else, I think that we've been experiencing holidays that's been on the weekends. I think we've kind of been lucky lately. You notice that on New Year's like fell on like on a Friday night, which was kind of cool because it didn't fuck with like, work or anything. We've been spoiled with days being on the holidays. It kind of sucks where it's like, oh, it's 4th of July, and anybody who works out there, it's like, oh, okay, you're off on a Wednesday. Hey, listen, man, eat all you want and get fucked up, drunk and shit, but come back the next day on Thursday. It's like, ugh. Then you got 2 days ahead of you. So that kind of was, a downer. But obviously there was more news that happened during that time. And I just want to say one thing, man. To be honest, me and Heapsack, we rarely hang out during the week. We're kind of weekend guys. Maybe we'll see each other on a Saturday or Sunday once in a while. But during the week, man, like I say, hey, we had 4th of July. It was during the weekday. It was like, fuck it, let's get fucking hammered, get fucked up, and you go see some fireworks and shit. We're some New Yorkers, right? But come on, Sack, what happened out there?
Well, we're out there, and I'm sure everybody's seen it on television at this point. The Statue of Liberty protest. There was a 44-year-old woman out there causing all kinds of ruckus, ruining, what was supposed to be the Independence Day for America, and it was just a bunch of BS, man. It didn't ruin the day, but it definitely put a little bit of a, blister on it.
Yeah, I thought it did because here's the thing, right? Like, going to the city for certain things like New Year's Eve or the 4th of July, maybe like people travel, right? And this what sucks, man. I bumped into a couple of people that were like, hey, we actually came out here. Like, it was the first time, like people from Australia. And I don't want to single them out because I actually told them to check out the show. And they were like, hey, this looks cool, man. And we talked. And I was like, dude, there are people like they come out there and they go like, man, this shit is shut down because some asshole protested. And it was like, in some way, they were kind of laughing about it when you're foreign. Like, man, you come to America, like this is America, we should expect this. But I'm in a way, and I was like, no way, man, fuck that. That's fucking bullshit. You shouldn't fucking expect that. I think that protesting is your natural American right. But I feel like in this day and age, it's way fucking out of hand, man. It's way out of hand, dude, when it comes down to it. Now, the message of this person protesting was all about immigration and, the immigration situation that we got going on right now. Now, Mike Pence, Vice President of the United States, he came out and said, hey, look, man, ICE, it's not going anywhere. We'll never abolish ICE as far as their administration is concerned. And ICE is almost like, it's like a federal defense in some way, right? They go, well, we are stopping people who are breaking the law, if you will, because people go, oh, they should abolish ICE and all that. And if they want to do that, that's one thing. It's like, make some laws, I guess lobby, vote a lot, see if you can change something. But when you want to say abolish ICE or pretty much take people out of their jobs, because that's what a lot of they're hardworking American citizens out there who are ICE agents, if you will. who were just doing their fucking job in some way, and they're like, "Oh, fire them! Let's get people out of work and shit," but with no solution. I think that's insanity, man. When it comes down to it, I think that's insanity, you know. And like I think there's other people in the left, and here's the thing, man. I think that sometimes I like to have fun. I know we do a lot of videos and we cut the long term of it, and I know people like to see the videos. I see the videos are getting more hits than the actual podcast, which is all right. But if anybody knows my stance on things, like I said, man, like I just want to be very clear. I feel that the left is absolutely nuts of their approach of trying to divide people, and they're absolutely dividing people more than ever, more so. You have this Maxine Waters, calling for violence on Trump supporters, calling for violence. You know what I mean? And you want to talk about like like real fucking like crazy shit. Like it's like politics being crazy more than ever. Like how it's like, I mean, when did you see people being harassed? I don't know, like for their views, for their political views. I think you're seeing it now more than ever. And I'm not saying anything new. I'm not saying anything breakthrough. Like, oh shit, there's Lobo. This guy's really saying some new shit. No, I'm not. Obviously. But to be honest, to be quite frank, I mean, you would think, and this is not racist at all, pal. But you would think having a black president for 8 years would split the country up totally. But I think it's weird. Like it's people go, oh, the Trump, he got elected because of racist voters and the racist votes. Like really? Obama got elected twice by a landslide. Like, you know what I mean? Don't say that everybody that votes for Trump is racist, because that's completely wrong, right? And we're not playing who was better president here. I'm not trying to do that whole shtick, but I think the left is completely crazy with their whole division thing, man. They're truly going, hey, listen, we're drawing a line in the sand, and if your political views, and if you're this, then we're going to classify you as this person, and if you're that, we're going to classify you as that person. But here's the thing, right? Like, which I'm not surprised in terms of politics, but in terms of the left and the Democrats, their message is not that. Their message, supposedly, they're liberals. They go, oh man, everybody should live in peace and everybody should live in harmony, and everything, right? I'm going to tell you how these people are so full of shit. I'm going to tell you why. When they had the whole thing with the camps and the immigration camps, which was an absolutely it was horrible, right? It's horrible, but also I felt it was deplorable when people tried to compare it to Jewish camps. That was absolutely stupid, and it was from, middle class Americans. Yeah,
like they would know.
Yeah, like exactly. But it was from middle class Americans who were saying that, or if anything, it was like high profile celebrities who were saying something stupid like that, right? But when it comes down to it, man, you see like how like they had these quote unquote camps and shit, right? So the liberals are supposed to be so tolerant when it comes down to this immigration stuff, but it's so hilarious how they're the first one to stereotype. They're the first one to stereotype. You know why I say this? Because they were going, oh, when you had these camps, you go, oh, now you're putting people with the rapists and the pedophiles. Now you got kids, you're separating the family, and you got people in the same room with pedophiles and rapists. What's that about? Why are you separating the families? And I know I'm a little animated. I know I can sometimes do my stupid voices to be funny, but there's a point to it. So you're saying that let's open the borders and let everybody in, but you're also saying there are rapists and pedophiles. This is why you couldn't separate the families. Like I said, separating the families is all bullshit. And the whole, like I said, there's a lot of bullshitness into this whole fucking thing. So don't get me wrong what I'm trying to fucking say here. But what the point that I'm making is that the liberals, you would think that the Republicans would say some shit like that. Like, oh, somehow Obama did this and they misconstrued the whole thing where they go, oh, now they're saying they're rapists and pedophiles. Which one is it? Which one is it? Like, what is it? But now you have to say that to them. Like, which one is it? I remember when they completely made an ass out of themselves. I think the liberals completely did. Now they go, what are you talking about? They're the ones who are locking up, blah, blah, blah. No, dude. What happened was we were detaining people who broke the law, the American law, when it comes down to it, which was a fucking offense. But the thing is, though, nobody trialed them for that. Nobody goes, okay, we're going to trial you for jumping over the border and we sentence you for 10 years. We don't do that over here. We don't do that over here. But let's keep it real. When it comes down to it, when he had these quote unquote camps or these places where they're dividing people, by the way, which I think Donald Trump did an executive order in 48 hours to stop that whole thing. So they're no longer separated. But when they were, the liberals were going around saying, they're mixing them in with the rapists and the pedophiles. But then when Trump said it, they were going, bullshit. What did he say? What did he say? I mean, it's like, come the fuck on. Let's be honest, folks, when it comes down to it. Let's just keep it real. When it's absolutely double standard on both sides, sure. But let's be real. The fucking liberals, the Democrats are way, way more double standard. And I'm saying when it comes down to picking a side and choosing a side, I think that we should just pick with the more logical people. And if people really feel after all of this, it's not the Republicans, then I say, I mean, it's not. And they're saying that, it's the liberals all day, and then fucking salute. Go be with Maxine Water. Go be with Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas and shit. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, Zach. I don't mean to go rant off of that, but I mean, let's be fucking real, man. Listen, it's America. You can protest. You go to the Statue of Liberty and you fuck up everybody's day. People traveled. It's the American thing, I guess. You know, it is what it is. People has to stop being delusional. And I'm telling you this right now, right? I want to say this right here to cap it off on this segment here, Mr. Heapsack. But you want to talk about delusional? People think like sometimes like, okay, it's only Democrats, it's only Republicans are delusional, it's only people that are into politics are delusional. No, not necessarily. Not necessarily, ladies and gentlemen here at the Lobo Show that are listening. I'm going to tell you who are probably the most delusional people. Rich people who's got a lot of fucking money and who's not involved in politics in any way. I'm talking about like a lot of these athletes in some way. And don't get me wrong, I made a video about football and basketball and American sports, and probably gonna do a video about baseball down the road, right? But I want to talk about golf right quick. Golf, the oldest, one of the oldest games in the world, starting in Scotland, but golf, right? And like I said, I'm not trying to do shtick here, trying to sound like one of these old videos, but I hear this story, right, about Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, about how they're going to play a big game. And most people who don't know who Tiger Woods is, obviously probably one of the greatest golfers of our generation. Phil Mickelson is probably his greatest opponent. Heapsack, I know you got a little on this. Like, what's the story in this Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson thing? And let me tell you something. People go, I don't feel like hearing a sports segment. This is not a sports segment, people. I think this is very important. I think we should hear this story out right quick before you go, I'm not into sports, for various reasons. I'm a liberal. I'm a girl. That's a joke, people. Just listen to this. What do you got in the sack?
Well, the two most iconic faces in golf today, they have combined for 122 PGA Tour wins and 19 majors, and now they're planning a live, televised winner-take-all match play face-off. Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson are playing for $10 million. The idea of this high-stakes showdown was put in motion at the Masters when Woods and Mickelson played a practice round together. Negotiations were well underway by the time the two were paired together at the Players' Championship. Mickelson was already looking forward to it. Woods also expressed his excitement. This is one of his quotes: "I'm definitely not against that. We'll play for whatever makes him uncomfortable." Initially, the date for the match was July 3rd, but final negotiations, which included a television deal and several corporate deals, didn't finish quite in time. Both Mickelson, 48 years old, and Tiger Woods, 42 years old, have found their games again after some struggles in the past few years. Mickelson has surged up to number 20 in the world and captured his first win since 2013. Woods, meanwhile, is ranked 67th in the world and climbing. He recently finished tied for fourth at the Quicken Loans National. Both players will be competing at the Open Championship in 2 weeks' time. Woods and Mickelson are the top two active earners on the PGA Tour. Woods with over $111 million, Mickelson with over $87 million. And both of them have plenty more of endorsements.
Yuck. Yucko the clown, I say. Yuck. Fuck out of here. Now, here's the thing, the reason I got a problem with this, right? And I don't want to alienate people, but that's what I do here. I'm not trying to make this a repetitive shtick, but this is, like I said, this is kind of Lobo shit, Lobo show, and Lobo shit here that I'm fucking wanting. I really want to express this. I cannot stress this enough, dude. This is what I mean, that people who are completely rich are blind to know what's going on in the real world, right? I mean, like, what the fuck is going on? These guys right here, $5 million each, and we're just playing. Oh, let's see who's got a bigger bank account. Let's play this fucking golf game, this fucking game that's like for the elitists and shit, for like these fucking pricks who are delusional. What's going on with the fucking world? And here's the thing, right? When I first heard this, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. You know, is this money going to charity? Or is this money going somewhere to help the fucking homeless? Because God fucking forbid, right? Anybody will help the homeless and shit in this country. You know what I mean? Or what about the Flint water crisis that's going on, right? I mean, God damn it, it's been going on for a goddamn long time here. And I'm not trying to be funny, but is anybody going to do about that? Anybody going to do anything about that? And you see fucking Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson, two fucking hacks, two blowjob hacks. Two blowjob hacks that are way past their fucking prime. Talking about let's play each other for $5 million and let's put it on pay-per-view. And you got a lot of sponsors like, oh yeah, thumbs up. This is real golf right here. This is like the Super Bowl golf. You've never seen anything like that. Fuck out of here. Like, what the fuck is the matter with people? Like, are you serious? People are going to sit around and watch this? While this fucking world, people are saying, when it comes to the left or the right, they go, oh, the world is burning, blah, blah, blah. What the fuck? You got to fucking $5 million each for a fucking snubby ass stuffed shirt fucking golf game in this day and age? Thumbs down, pal. You know what? Thumbs down on that. Yeah, you know what? I'll fucking watch the Super Bowl 10 times over. I'll watch the best out of 7. I'll watch the national title game. But I watch anything. And let me tell you something. When it comes up to golf, you know me. I told you, historian lineage. I love I respect the his history of shit. But God damn it, the history of that's always been shaky as best. And Jesus Christ, the first time they had a Jackie Robinson in that fucking era was Tiger Woods. Jesus, Earl Woods can fucking, he couldn't hold Tiger Woods jock straps. And I don't even know if fucking golf wears jock straps. I don't know if golfers do that. Probably doesn't even demand for it. But I'll tell you this. I'm outraged, man, because like I said, Lobo show, blue collar fucking show. We know what they're talking about. Everybody who listens to this show, I don't know. And if you're a millionaire, and I'm fucking sorry, I'm not trying to rip you, but it's Lobo show. Most of the people who listen to this show are at work, blue collar people, working their fucking 9 to 5 or working their midnight shift, driving a truck, just doing whatever the fucking ever to fucking survive. I salute you. You're the one that makes America go round. And guys like us, and women like us should stick together and say, listen, fuck Phil Mickelson and Tiger Woods for that bullshit. Two old up, dried up hacks trying to relive their fucking their old youth and shit. Fuck that.
I completely agree. It's like, why would I want to watch two millionaires, play for $10 million and not a single punch is going to be thrown? It's just,
yeah, it's true. Who would do that? Who would watch like, oh yeah, these two guys, 2 million, let's be honest. Tiger was like the first billionaire athlete, I guess. And Phil Mickelson, come on, multimillionaire, right? It's like, 2 millionaires going at it. Let's fucking pay all the. And can you imagine the pompous fucking douchebag idiots that attend this live event? Like, oh, I got to be there front row, and now I got to take. Oh, shut up. Really take your fucking yacht to the country club and go watch your fucking Phil Mickelson, and Tiger Woods. Go shove it up your fucking ass. Don't tell me. And a lot of these guys don't get it twisted. Like you would think, like, oh, there must be all Republicans. Bullshit. There's a lot of liberals. There's a lot of Republicans. Like I said, when it comes down to politics, separates people, but humanoids are humanoids, and dumb people are dumb people. Like, I think we should be, just absolutely disgusted with that whole fucking thing. But, people are like, why would I? Fuck off. They'll never get it. You know what I mean? What are you going to do, pal? What are you going to fucking do? And I don't mean to go too off on this shit whole thing here, but it's like, that's the way I fucking feel, man. It's the Lobo Show. The Lobo Show. What do we do over here? And I'm going to switch segments, if you don't mind, ladies and gentlemen. I like to switch the segment to the most important segment here at the Lobo Show. Segment that everybody's all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the nightly news with the heap sack.
WINS, WINS HD, WWFS HD3, New York. All news, all the time. You give us 22 minutes, we'll give you the world.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, July 6th, 2018. It is 75 degrees in New York City, and this is the nightly news with the sack. China retaliates with tariffs after U.S. begins trade war by The Guardian. A long-threatened trade war between the U.S. and China has got underway after the world's two largest economies imposed tariffs on each other. The U.S. implemented tariffs on $34 billion in Chinese goods, to which Beijing responded with levies on a similar quantity of U.S. imports. Minutes after the U.S. tariffs went into effect at 12:01 a.m. on Friday, U.S. time, a spokesperson for China's Ministry of Commerce said China promised not to fire the first shot, but in order to safeguard the country's core interest as well as that of the people, it is forced to fight back. Later on Friday, a spokesman for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs said after the U.S. tariffs kicked in, Chinese tariffs on U.S. goods had immediately gone into effect. Ahead of the tariffs, Chinese state media published a series of editorials criticizing the U.S. and emphasizing the country's readiness for a trade war. Chinese companies and investors worried for the worst, while economists cautioned any impact on the economy would be minimal. If the U.S. wants to escalate a trade war with China, then so be it. A little fighting may be the only way the Trump administration clears its mind and allows everyone to sober up. The state-run Global Times said on Friday, the Trump administration is behaving like a gang of hoodlums with its shakedown of other countries, particularly China, said an English language article in the China Daily on Thursday. A spokesperson for China's Ministry of Commerce said that the U.S. will be opening fire on the whole world and also opening fire on itself. China's central banker said Trump's promised tariffs of 25% on $50 billion of Chinese goods, Friday's $34 billion to be followed by $16 billion in a few weeks, would shave 0.2 percentage points off of China's GDP, and the overall impact would be limited. Still, Chinese investors and companies worry, and the Shanghai Composite Index was down 1.1%.
Dude, the U.S. tariffs in China, man, goes into effect, right? And China calls out the U.S. saying this is the largest trade war in history, and I think that is just I think is when it comes down to it, I've been wanting to do this story for a long time, but I think now literally is the day when the shit hit the fans. And I'm not gonna lie, man, it's gonna be short-term pain for like states like Wisconsin and Indiana and Missouri and shit. Any like farmers in any way, it's gonna be absolutely a tax on them. They're like, holy shit, we're the guys that kind of voted for Trump, and what's going on? Like Trump is like pulling on this in the turfs. But when it comes down to it, man, it's like I think it really is unequal bargaining when it comes to China. On China's part, I don't want to lose people here with this. I don't want to like lose anybody like, what's going on here? This is kind of boring, but it's not. I just want to say this, right? This is not good for cattle farmers. Like China has lots of export, so they need us, right? So I say let's be patient when it comes down to this whole thing. I think Trump's got the NATO meeting, I think this weekend coming up. I trust the guy, to be honest, right? Now people is like, oh, well, Trump really hasn't have done deals and whatever. He's just all he does is hold out and pulls out. But I really, truly believe on the long term, when it comes down to it, it's going to make sense. Now, as an average American, does it make or break your day? You're walking down the streets like, well, I don't understand this whole thing. It really doesn't. But it kind of does. Like I said, for the farmers, to the littlest things like the soybean farmers, this totally affects them in a lot. Here's the thing, man. I'm going to go on the lamb now and say, I'm going to trust the president on this one and say, fuck it. You know what? They've always been taxing us out the ass. And I get why China's do it. Let's be here in the middle. Let's be fucking fair. China go, well, what the fuck? You guys owe us trillions of dollars. We got to tax you out some way. and Trump's going like, you know what? Yeah, maybe those past administrations accumulated trillions of dollars of debt. I got nothing to do with that. I ain't paying that. And I think that you're taxing us out the ass. That's where it comes down to it, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. That's the Trump administration. Trump, what he's doing right now, and like I said, people, you can like it or not. Just take it. He said, I know people got pissed. Like, yeah, this is what I like about the Lobo show. Dude, he's not. No, I'm making. My show is now. I think it evolved to just make your own interpretation. Make your own interpretation. But the interpretation is this: it's I feel like he's trying to go like, hey, look, man, I don't give a fuck. I know that's history, and we have to be held accountable for the past administrations, right? But I'm not doing that. I'm not going to be held accountable for the past administration, let alone the past administration is my rival, Barack Obama, biggest rival of all time, right? He's like, no way, not doing it, not being taxed for that. For what? I didn't make the bill. I didn't make that deal. I'm on some other shit. So, here's the thing. Like I said, guys like city people, city folks here in the United States go, whatever, doesn't bother me. People in Indiana, Wisconsin, Indiana, Iowa. I know I said Indiana twice, but Iowa and shit, Missouri, there's a lot of farmers like, yeah, they're going to get a tax. But here's the thing, man, if they bear with it, I'm telling you, man, it could work out. And if you guys don't like it, then guess what? I'm talking about to the farmers out there, then vote Democrat in the next 2 years. Vote for that broad from the Bronx and some shit. They're calling her the next Barack Obama. Let's move on, Zach.
In other news, rescuers pump water from flooded cave where Thai soccer team trapped by ESPN. With more rain coming, Thai rescuers are racing against time to pump out water from a flooded cave before they can extract 12 boys and their soccer coach with minimal risk, officials said Thursday. A firefighter who has been working on draining the water said that the levels in parts of a passage leading to the chamber where the boys and the coach were found on Monday after being missing for 10 days was still flooded all the way to the ceiling, making diving the only way out. Officials have said they prefer to get the boys out as soon as possible because heavy rain is expected to start by Saturday, which almost surely will rise the water levels again in the cave, making passages in some areas even more difficult, if not impossible. They are hoping that an upgraded draining effort can lower the water level in an area where it is still at the ceiling or just about. The idea is to get some headroom so the boys would not be reliant on scuba equipment for a long stretch and could keep their heads above water. The boys, ages 11 to 16, and their 25-year-old coach disappeared after they went exploring in the Tam Lang Nag Non Cave in the northern Providence after a soccer game June 23rd. Authorities said that the boys, who appeared skinny but in good health in several videos released by the Thai Navy, were being looked after by 7 members of the Thai SEALs, including medics who were staying with them inside the cave. They were mostly in stable condition and have received high-protein drinks. In all of the videos, the boys appeared in good spirits. In the most recent video, a Navy SEAL is shown treating minor cuts on the feet and legs of the boys with antibiotic ointment. Several of the boys are seen smiling as they interact with the Navy SEAL, who cracks jokes. Seeing the boys has boosted the mood of their family members, and officials are working to install an internet cable to the cave so the parents can talk to their children. While efforts to pump out floodwaters are continuing, some Thai officials have indicated that heavy rain forecast for this weekend could force them to decide whether the boys should swim and dive out using the same complicated route of narrow passageways through which their rescuers entered. Authorities said they were still exploring other options, such as mountainside for other ways into the cave and finding faster ways to pump water from the cave. Cave rescue experts have said it could be safest to simply supply the boys where they are for now and wait until the water goes down. That could take months. However, given that Thailand's rainy season typically lasts through October, divers are wary of taking out the boys through the dark and dangerous waters still in the cave, especially since they are untrained.
Well, it's a sad story, but in some way a little uplifting because of the humanity of everyone who truly, truly wants to pull for these young boys, man. young boys when it comes down to it. And it's a sad thing. I don't care what country you're from, but I'm telling you this right now. On behalf of the Lobo Show, as corny as this sounds, the whole world is rooting for them for their safety. Now, from what I hear, 140 cave divers around the world are trying to help, like experts and shit in this situation. Are trying to get at it, trying to get in there, dude. It's fucked up, right? It's completely fucked up. Thailand fucking soccer team. The kids have to swim more. The reason why they're not out of there because the kids have to swim more than like what 50 miles. You know,
It's something. I mean, I like. I don't think it's crazy amount like that. It's just to get to that cave, you have to go underwater. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But
And
they're
it's a certain
children.
amount of time underwater.
Here's the thing: they're children, and here's the thing: Thailand. It's a very very poor country. I understand that they had some experts to go out there, like you said, the Navy SEAL guy, and that's nothing to laugh at. This is a Thailand Navy SEAL. Obviously, the guy's great, you know, swimming underwater, and for him to die, it's very unfortunate. You know, it's very unfortunate, but there are people trying to help. From what I understand, they're sending oxygen tanks out there to try to level to raise the oxygen levels up because believe it or not, the oxygen levels are very low there. So they're doing it's weird. Like you can fucking connect Wi-Fi. We're living in this generation now where you can have a Wi-Fi in a fucking cave where these kids could talk to their fucking parents on a laptop, but we can't get these fucking kids out of there. It's mind boggling. But the thing is, though, is this, man. I know it sounds like some fucked up situation that they're in, but I think that if Trump wants to get some points, the president or the United States in general, I think he should get some Navy SEALs out there and let's get this fucking thing done by the weekend. I mean, come on. I feel like, hey, get some, 4 or 6 of your Navy SEAls, your best of the best, get them out there. We look good. President look good. Thumbs up for everybody. You can't bitch on slighting things. Slighting things you can't bitch about. But I mean, when it comes down to it, it's a sad situation. And you're saying how long they have to possibly, here's the thing, if they wait it out, they can send them food, you're saying they can send them a lot of things. They can try to send oxygen tanks. But worst case scenario, you said how long they have to wait it out?
Probably a few months till October, something like that.
That's unacceptable in 2018. That's unacceptable. Unacceptable. 2018, really? Like I said, we can get the Wi-Fi, we can send you food, but we can't fucking, get you out of there. Get the fuck out of here. Can somebody get some dynamite? Dude, we built the fucking Panama Canal. I mean, sometimes you got to remind these people. We built the fucking skyscrapers. We built the fucking Panama Canal. We built the A-bomb. You trying to tell me we can't get these fucking kids out of a hole? Give me a fucking break, pal. Let me tell you something. Not to get on some fucking spiritual and religious shit. We're all praying for these people, whatever that is. And some people are like, I don't like religion. Gee. Okay, then, but we're all wishing the best, then I guess. It's 2018. We got to wish for the best as opposed to praying for people and shit. But we are wishing for the best. But I'm going to say one last fucking thing in terms of this. Now, here's the thing, right? Apparently, how did they get in that fucking hole in the first place? That's the biggest question. How do they get trapped in this fucking hole?
You ever heard of the old the motto, curiosity killed the cat? Well, they went exploring with their 25-year-old coach in this cave.
Okay.
Which is probably older than the country itself.
So these are kids who range anywhere from 12 years old to 16 years old. And they have a 25-year-old coach who wants to do some hiking, if you will, and, they venture into a cave. This is what I tell you, man. And it's like, oh, how can that happen? It's like, dude, anybody who's of a certain age, if you notice that, right? As much as older than I'm getting, and I'm not an old pal, old man, you know what I mean? Not even in my 30s. But to be honest, it's like I feel like I'm an old soul, and it's like, dude, I feel like these people who are young in this day and age are kind of fucking really stupid. I don't care, and I get you like, and an American go, what are you talking about? I'm smarter than a Thai guy. All right, listen, and that's not racist shit, but like maybe yes, a New York City guy or a Northeast guy, West guy, or Texas guy, whatever. Even as a rancher, he's probably smarter than some Thailand fucking, these Thai. I mean, not for nothing, right? Not for nothing. They don't preach education as much as we do. We got Harvard College. What do they have? I'm just saying, not for nothing, right? So they go, some moron in there, like he was the coach. He's 25 years old. He's the oldest guy in there, and he put them in their situation. Now I'm not gonna lie to this. Like I said, do your research on this story, ladies and gentlemen. This the coach is an idiot. I'm not gonna say that he deserves to go to jail or should he be trialed for that. I don't know what the law is over there, and I think that the law should be trialed accordingly to what country you live in. Like that, I'm not gonna question that. If I don't live in your country, how dare I question your laws? So don't question ours. But I'll say this: if this guy walks away scot free and he ends up coaching, he's like, he's a hero. He's like, oh no, but you don't get it. This guy was the guy that kept us alive. Fuck that shit. If I'm the father of any of those boys, I'm going to kick him in his dick. He deserves a good kick in the dick. If you go, oh, Lobos, what do you mean? A good kick in the balls? No. That to me, that's too painful. And to be honest, nobody deserves to get kicked in the balls. But a good kick in the dick. Like, hey, you know what? I'm going to fucking kick you in the dick, bro. Like, no way, pal. I got to send me right now. Like, I don't care, pal. I'm kicking you in the fucking dick. I'm going to kick you in the dick. I'm telling you right now because you're a fucking asshole and you're a dick too, pal. My son was out there for fucking 40 fucking days. You know what I mean? I'm drinking protein shakes and shitting out God knows what. And you're over there. You probably had the most food than everybody because you're the oldest guy. You're probably bullying the other guy, the kids, for some of their food. Who knows what you're doing in there? You piece of shit. You got him in this situation. You're a garbage individual. Let's move on, Sank.
In other news, Spain's running of the bulls, the good, the bad, and the ugly by USA Today. Thousands of people risk their lives each year at the running of the bulls in Spain, which kicked off Thursday in Pamplona. The 9-day San Fermin festival runs from July 6th to the 14th. Here's what you need to know about the controversial fiesta. More than 1 million tourists visit Pamplona to see the bull runs. They are a big part of the summer festivals in Spain. Bull runs happen during 8 mornings where people race with bulls along a 930-yard street course to the bull ring. In the afternoon, bullfights. The bulls face matadors and almost certain death. Herding the bulls through the streets of Pamplona dating back to the 13th century to corral the bulls into a bullfighting ring. The animals would run through a similar half-mile stretch as they do today, as youngsters and adults chased after them with sticks. The run begins on Pamplona's Santo Domingo Street and finishes in Plaza de Toro, where the bullpen is located. The run is a little over a half mile. For speedy runners, the course should take only a few minutes to complete. If participants make it to the bullpen, they can continue to run around the arena with the bulls. Participants traditionally wear all white with a red scarf. Religious customs show priests would dress in red to honor saints. Red is also the color associated with charging bulls in bullfights.
Yeah, you know what? I don't like the fact that the fucking religious people are on this shit. Let me say something about bullfighting right now. Yo, it's one of the greatest, oldest traditions of all time, bullfighting. In Spain, running with the bulls. How many years you said today?
Since the 13th century. So
Dude, since 13th century.
Going on for, over 500 years. It's like, 700 years.
700 years. You know what?
I love this type of tradition because it incorporates humans and animals, and there's it's chaos. People die, bulls die. It's pretty amazing that it happens still today.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, here's the thing: I'm not an animal hater, but I respect it. I respect the running with the bulls. When it comes down to it, it's a very, very violent game or sport, if they want to call it, but it's tradition. It's human tradition. Now, here's the thing: people go, "Oh, the Spaniards do it." No. When it comes down to it, as human beings, we do this. We're the ones who creating it. It's not a Spain thing. It's not an Italy thing. It's not a European thing. It's human beings. We created the running with the bulls. We've done this. It's an old tradition, and guess what? It's a tradition that will never die. It will never die when it comes down to it. And I say this: it is horrific when it comes down to it. Now, like I said, am I am I an animal lover? No, I'm not. But I'm not an animal hater. I'm not a guy. Go kill, best you can. Like that's disgusting. That's gross. I don't even want to hear it. I don't even want to imagine that in my head when it comes down to it. But this whole bull thing is very violent, and there's people that literally they will sell in a concession stand like fucking spears and some shit you could throw at the crowd to the bull. Like, oh shit. And when you see these bulls, they got like fucking 40 spears in them and they're still running around ramming people. But you know what I like? You know what I like about it? I like the fact that the bulls is ramming people. Like, yeah, sure, the guy might die at the end of the day, and it's kind of a sacrifice. But these bulls are fucking coming out. No fucking bullshit. Balls to the walls and killing motherfuckers. You know how it goes? You hear about it?
Remember, these people volunteered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. It's not like it's fucking the Hunger Games and shit when you go, oh, you have to do this. It's one you would think like, oh, this is like The Purge, or this is like some kind of movie. Like this is a great idea for a movie. It's like, oh shit, here's the thing: we're gonna have the world's worst. Excuse me, not the best, but the best of being the worst of killers and criminals of all time, and we're gonna make them literally run with live fucking bulls, right? You would think like, oh my god, like people will watch like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be awesome, but not. People volunteer for this. And like I said, this is human beings. This is people around the world, my friend. It's not like, oh, just the Spaniards are doing this. It's just an old Spanish tradition. Like Cortez, you know what I mean? Or some shit. The Spanish Inquisition. Big whoop. Nothing like that. I'm talking about everybody around the world. Australia, United States, Canada, Belgium, South America, every continent you can name, dude. Europe, you know what I mean? Asia. Doesn't fucking matter. But they're there. But the thing is, what I like about it is like the fact that the bulls, don't get it twisted. People die every fucking year. And if they don't die, there's a lot of people, even if they get to them, like, oh, nobody died this year, really? But I swear to God, there's someone who's a quadriplegic. There's a guy in there who's a fucking in the wheelchair and shit. Why did he do it? I don't know. Does that make him brave? No. I say the bull won. Sometimes when it comes down to this bullfighting, the bull wins sometimes. People say, oh, the bull doesn't win never. They never win. If you know anything about bullfighting, ole. So about the bullfighter and the bull. And typically the bullfighter always wins. Not always the case, my friend. And here's the thing. In terms of Lobo videos and all of that shit, we don't want to show anything graphic, so we won't. It's very, to be honest, I like to debate anybody. It could be possibly the most bloodiest sport or game there ever is right now. Because here's the thing, right? You go, oh, cockfighting. That's pretty it's cockfighting. It's not like, and like I said, there's another thing we can't show clips of, right? But it's like, it's not, bullfighting is fucking horrific. But here's the thing, what I like about it, they do even out the odds, and technically they don't, because you're talking about thousands of people just throwing spears from the crowd, which is horrific and it's stupid. If you got kids doing that shit, it's dumb. But what am I going to do? I'm just one man. I'm not going to defy it. And as a man, I know women, sometimes women they're the ones that go, oh, not cool, but as a guy, I'm going to have to go like, yeah, you know what? Go human. Score one for the humans that gets a defensive bull with just horns on his head. It was just literally pushing guys out of his way. He doesn't know where he's going. You know what I mean, Zach? I mean, what's your thoughts on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like the fact that they still do that is just amazing. And like I love to read up old symbolic history of animals.
Sure, so do I.
And if you look at the bull, historically, it was the symbol of the most powerful animal. So it's kind of like a liberation. You're liberating the most powerful animal, and you're letting it free, for a few days. And it's just crazy. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't fuck around. I'm telling you. And they're like angry too, man. You see those guys, they kind of like the bulls almost they know too. As soon as he sees a human, and sometimes they like to pick a human. Like, you got to see it. I know I'm not speaking weird, man. You have to see it. It's a very, very brutal sport. Possibly one of the most brutal tradition that's been going on in this day and age.
Yeah, it still goes on. It's crazy.
It is. Let's move on.
And finally, 24 years ago today, Forrest Gump was released in theaters. The movie tells a story of a man with a very low IQ but a big heart who stumbles into some of the most defining moments of the 20th century U.S. history. The film would become a massive hit, winning 6 Academy Awards, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Tom Hanks, and Best Director, Robert Zemeckis.
Great fucking film. Absolutely. Forrest fucking Gump and shit, you know. Was it that many years? How many years ago today? I mean, it's a
24
classic.
years ago today.
Yeah. And we all know what happened at the end, right? So apparently, in this movie, Forrest Gump, he was a dimwit from the South who lived a great life. And actually, it started from a book that became a movie. And there's a sequel when it comes down to the book. Is way more far-fetched. And the actual original movie, in terms of the book, is completely more far-fetched than the actual movie. But I think Tom Hanks played the shit out of that role. That is a great story, to be honest. Like, I can't believe that many years. It's one of those movies that I don't think, when you're like 25 and older, I think that everybody's seen that movie. You know, here's the thing: if you're 18, you're like, I've never saw Forrest Gump, I don't blame you. It's not a must see. I don't know if that movie holds up as much as a lot, but it's still fucking a good movie. You know what I mean? And I remember there was a deleted scene in Forrest Gump that I really like, and I want to play the audio. It was the scene where Jenny, right before Jenny died, Jenny was like, "Hey, guess what, Forrest? You know, not only do I have the HIV, the old HIV, the HIV." She was like, "Hey, Forrest, not only that, I gave it to you, and I told all your friends about it." And then Forrest was like, "What?" And here's the thing: this is the deleted scene. So this is Forrest talking to Jenny right now.
You stupid fucking blabbermouth cunt!
I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I think she should have understand, to be honest. And you know, Forrest Gump, I don't know. I think that. What was your favorite scene in that movie?
My favorite scene of the movie, when he like runs, you know, he goes on that crazy run.
Terrific.
Does he run? What else does he do? He runs real fast. Oh yeah, he played for Alabama. Sure, yeah. Was there any black guys on the team during that time? I mean, I don't know. How fast was he?
I mean, you know, there was a lot of good. There was everything in that movie. You had Vietnam. You had the moon landing. You had everything.
Sure, definitely the moon landing.
Yeah, remember he's watching the TV and the man lands on the moon. Remember that?
Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Forrest Gump had a lot of whole thing too, and the whole thing with Elvis, whatever. But my favorite part of Forrest Gump was this scene right here.
Sorry I had a fight in the middle of your Black Panther party.
You know what? You know what? Listen, dude. I don't know. Enough with the shenanigans. We've been here all day. I know you got a helicopter catch. You got I see you got a nice little sweater on today. With the collar sticking out. I don't know what that's all about, but I do. The guys got the helicopters revving the back with the thumbs up, so that means it's your time to go, ladies and gentlemen. That was the nightly news with Heath Sack. There he is, folks. Leaving in the corporate helicopter. Wave to him. In his all his glory. Ladies, gentlemen, third segment. Lobo Show, live from New York. Lobo Heapsack here, spewing our thoughts on a daily topical podcast situation. We hope you're still here with us. And Heapsack, 4th of July, you know what I mean? Middle of the week, which kind of sucked balls. But, you know, like, what do you think, man? Like, how did you like it, man? Another one gone? Another year gone?
Yeah.
What is up?
Pretty much. I mean, it was all right. It wasn't the best 4th of July I've ever had, but it was good.
Right. What are you gonna do? I mean, the fuck. But I know you had the 4th of July. Like there's people with the fireworks and all of that shit, and we're out there, and it's just a crowded situation like it is every year here in New York. What else is fucking new? People are annoying. Subways are annoying. Public transportation stinks, and that's the only way to get around here. You know what I mean, Sack?
Yeah. Yep. City life.
But let me tell you this though. Tonight it's gonna be different. You know why? I'm gonna tell you tonight's gonna be different, Sack. Come on, dude. Why are you looking at me like that? I know. Stop it. Get on the mic. I know, dude. Look at you. I see it already. I know that. I know that, dude. The people that I know. Why are you looking at me like that? I didn't tell him this, but we're doing this. Today's Heap Sack's birthday, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and I'm gonna tell you this right now. We're gonna get fucking laid tonight. We're gonna go out. We're gonna do our thing. And hopefully all the girls that are listening are going to be totally jealous. Like, oh, yeah. What do you mean you're getting laid? I want to be there. Then fucking say it. You know what I mean? Then fucking say it. But here's the thing, right? Come on, Sack. It's your fucking birthday. Are we not? Come on. You're like, guys, it's not a big deal. Why is it not a big deal? Why do you keep saying that? You know what? Here's the thing about a Heap Sack. This is why I'm a bad friend in a way, too. I've known this guy for... I don't know, about 5 years now. I think I know this guy. Where he became a friend of mine. But I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't know it was his birthday today. You know what I mean? Until actually, I didn't know it was his birthday until yesterday. He was like, "Oh yeah, I got blah blah blah. I got to do this. It's my birthday, blah blah blah." So like, oh shit, Jesus Christ! I know this guy for a long fucking time, and he never made that a big deal. That's one thing. He's not one of those guys. But why do you feel it's not a big deal?
I just feel just another day. I mean, nothing's gonna happen on this day, that's gonna be magical or, birthday. It's just another day. I mean, I'm too old. I'm 38, Yeah. So I just don't care anymore.
So are you saying that in your 30s you don't care about fucking you don't care about birthdays anymore? Like, what the fuck is that about? Because Floyd Mayweather, he makes his birthday out about everything. He loves his birthday.
Yeah, but that guy has like $500 million in the bank account. To be fair, I guess if I had millions upon millions, I would. You know what? I wouldn't. That's just not my style. I'm more now, like just family and cake. That's about it.
Totally, man. So, do Jews celebrate fucking birthdays? Then I know you're saying you're being Jewish, and I'm not trying to make this a bit or anything. But the Jewish people celebrate birthdays and everybody else?
Cake. I don't know how else you celebrate it. Yeah, we have cake and candles and the whole 9 yards.
Really? So it's like the same whole thing. Do they turn the lights off and shit?
Sure. Yeah, exactly. They sing you happy birthday,
Yeah. So I wouldn't offend you if we had the old the Mariachi band later on tonight. Here's the thing, I wish we can film this, but the bosses won't allow this. It's like, you know why? The bosses said they wouldn't allow it. They want to budget it. We were going to do a whole live stream thing where it's like the Heap Sack's birthday party, but they said no because they said happy birthday, the song was copyrighted. And technically, they say if we did that, they owe them like $10,000. I don't know if that's true. Anybody can do their research on it. They can let us know about it. I don't know. Yeah. I think a birthday is kind of like it's like an American tradition. You know what I mean? I know people in English go, "Oh, what about us, mate?" Shut up. You guys weren't listening this long. I'll tell you who is. The Americans. Then again, the un-Americans. We love you, boys. Now let's get the fuck out of here. You want to do some pizza? What are we doing tonight?
Yes, sir. Yeah, let's go get some pizza.
Are you sure? Because here's the thing, it's your birthday. We're gonna get fucking late or what?
Yeah, but let's go get a good old fashioned,
I don't like,
sandwich.
I noticed that people are like, you know what? Like, it's like, let's go get some food first. I'm like, no. Let's be like hungry. Let's be hungry. Maybe it's a New York thing, and you get it. Let's be hungry at 2:00 in the morning. Let's not eat.
You're right.
Right? Let's not eat for the whole day and eat at 10:00 in the morning. We go get a couple of slices and shit, and that's the way you eat. And sure, you're gonna barf a couple of times and shit, but it's the New York way. I mean, come on.
It's the only way.
That's it, pal. Listen, let's get the fuck out of here. Let's wrap this fucking thing up. We love everybody. Forrest Gump, man, great fucking movie. I feel like watching that tonight, probably. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe, man. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you something. when it comes down to conforming, when it comes down to like, the hey Lobos, why don't you switch up the act? Or what, I liked it this, I liked it that. I didn't know where you're going there. I originally subscribed for this, or no, I subscribed for that. All I gotta say this. I love everybody who's been checking out for the Lobo show for the right reasons, especially the people from day one. But other than that, to hear everybody else's opinions on about me and Heath Sack, I'd rather eat a balls sandwich. Ladies and gentlemen, for Lobo and for my pal Heath Sack,